Hello, Gunpla fans of YouTube. This is DZ Maven here, and this is a special video. Yep. Um, as you can see here, we've got a Zaku here. Um, Now this video is going to be showing up later at some point. I don't know exactly when it's going to be uploaded, but you're going to see some interesting things here. This is not going to be a standard review video here because this kit here has obviously been customized and fully painted and everything, and I just want to kind of talk about it a little bit here. There's not going to be any review score on it because of everything I've done to it, but just so if you're curious, it is based off the Zaku I from Gundam V Origin. That's what this kit is. And if you're just gonna I'll give a quick thumbs up to that kit. It's actually pretty good. I've heard that the high-grade Origin kits are above average high-grade kits, and that has proved to be true from my experience with this kit while I've been building it. But in case you couldn't tell, this Zaku here is going to be my entry for ZakuAurelius's custom Zaku contest. And I figured this video is probably going to go up after the entry deadline has passed here. So maybe I won, maybe I didn't, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to talk about it here and just kind of go over my thoughts on this and the process here I've had with it. So as you can see, it's right here. The color scheme I kind of went with was sort of a dark blue and a light blue-gray color with a sort of an orange on the spiked shoulder pad. The shoulder pad with the kit is not spiked by itself. It's just a round plain shoulder pad. I used the extra spike piece I had off of one of the many extra master grade Gundam hammers I have laying around, so I just took one of the spikes off of that and just sort of stuck it on there, so the shoulder has one spike on it, so it looks kind of neat. It's not quite the same shape as the standard Zaku spike, but it works well enough here. Let me get you spinning around so you look at it from different angles here. I didn't exactly go into this with an exact idea or theme of what I wanted to do, but I did kind of play around with some color schemes with the line art just to kind of see what I liked. And I had several different ideas, and this is really what I ended up with here. As I was building it, I started coming up with some ideas of what I wanted to do with customizing it. First, I kind of wanted to try and find a way to get all the weapons equipped on this kit here, and I think I pretty much accomplished that here. As you can see, right now it's got the anti-ship rifle in its hands, but you can see I've also got the extra bazooka packs are on the shield there. The bazooka is hanging off the back here with the other pack in it right there. And as it rotates around, you can see there's one of the machine gun packs is on the hip there. And on the back here, I found a little adapter. I could stick the Zaku machine gun on the back, and underneath it is the heat hawk in this folded up form. And there's the other machine gun pack on the other hip armor right there. So, and I got this little adapter I kind of jerry-rigged here for the anti-ship rifle. It's okay. It took me a really long time to find something that I could kind of put together that would hold the anti-ship rifle up on the back. I believe these parts here are extra parts, I think, from the Master Grade Crossbone Gundam, because they were parts from the Master Grade F91, I think. So I think they're just extra parts from that. But I kind of glued a couple pieces together and stuck a piece of extra plate in there with a notch in it that fits the notch on the bottom of the anti-ship rifle. The only problem with this is I didn't really anticipate how much space I needed back here, so with the rifle on the back it does tend to push the arms forward and makes posing really, really awkward when both of the guns are on the back. You had that problem a little bit with the bazooka too here. It kind of pushes the arm forward and you can't really get any good poses out of it that way, but I mean, I managed to get everything on there. And with everything on there, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kampher almost. So, yeah, it's got the two guns sticking off the back and all these extra stuff on it. So, it kind of almost has a Kampherish look, especially with these bigger commander horn I put on here with the little white decal on there. Now, this extra big commander's horn, that's actually from a Master Grade Jogu kit. It's the more shapely one, and I just kind of grabbed that and sort of played around with it, and it actually fits almost perfectly onto the front face of the Zaku I's head here. So I just had to modify. I think I just clipped the very end of it off a little bit there, and then sanded it up a little bit and just glued it on. It just went on perfectly. Perfect fit for that part. Now inside the head here, I didn't use a sticker for that. I used a little jewel, sort of like a, I don't know what you call it. It's like a little crystal thing. I've had those laying around for a while, and I was going to use those for another kit years ago, and I never used it, so I found them, so I just went ahead and stuck it on here. I figured it would look interesting, but I think it does look good when you get the light shining into it, but for most angles, it's kind of dark most of the time, so I feel kind of mixed about it. It's kind of interesting looking, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to see unless the light is right at the right angle for it. So let's see, moving on down. Now the other modification I did is I added these extra thrusters onto the legs, on the back of the legs here, so it almost gives it almost a high mobility Zaku look to it almost. These are extra parts that came with the kit, actually. These are just extra knee parts, as all those are, and the thrusters are, I think they're the ones that actually came with the version of the kit that was the Zaku II version of the kit here. Because with this you get some bigger thruster bells for the backpack on this here. So I just took those, stuck them on a little sprue piece, stuck them up in there, and there's another sprue piece going through the leg that is glued onto those, actually holds those in place. So that worked out pretty nicely, I think. I also drilled out the holes for the thrusters on the legs here, so they look a little better than they would normally here. Now the tricky part here when I was doing painting was trying to do these forearms here. I'll probably show you a picture here trying to explain that here to you here, but the way the forearm kind of goes together is the pieces clamp around. They're two halves, and they just go around the basic inner frame piece of it. The problem with that is I want to paint the inner frame, but I don't want to do a whole lot of masking because I'm not really big on masking. So I had to figure out a way to get those two pieces together so I could glue them and sand them up and make them look nice without having the inner frame stuck inside of it. So what I did is I got a little creative, and I actually cut the frame inside the forearm. The front part of the frame is actually glued in to the forearm, and that's the piece that serves as the socket for the hands. Now the rest of the arm I put together, and I kind of modified so that it will kind of slip inside the arm when it's together. And using the forearm guard, which is this little blue piece on the bottom here, I don't know if you can see it from this angle here, but it pushes up inside the arm, and basically I use that to lock the arm into place once I slide the frame in. So it actually worked out really good for me. So because once that piece is in there, the frame will not come back out again. So I think that worked out really well for me here. Let's see. Now for painting overall, I pretty much went with a lot of things that I've known in the past and other stuff I read from professionals overall. So most of the kit was checked over, sanded. I tried to carve out panel lines a little better on this, but it didn't really turn out after all the painting I did. So, but I did primer the kit fully. The only things I probably didn't primer was the inner frames and the weapons. I didn't really bother with those because they were pretty close to the way they were supposed to be, and the inner frame you're not really going to see much anyway on this, so I didn't put the extra effort into that. But all of the color pieces and everything, those were all primered, painted up, and gloss coated when I went ahead and did the decals and the panel lining for this. Now the panel lining was probably the other big challenge for me on this kit. I've always had kind of some trouble with doing the traditional panel lining method in the past before, because normally I use acrylic paints for panel lining, and a lot of stuff I use for that is really old and not really usable anymore. So I tried to come up with something else for this. So I had some new paints and tried that out, and the results were kind of mixed for me. Generally, I'd probably say the panel lining worked out, but there are some areas where it kind of stained a little bit for me. As I'll be turning around, I'll probably point that out to you. Here in the chest here, it'll probably show you a photo of it here, but a lot of the stuff in there was actually not actually intentional. A lot of that stuff is staining from the acrylic paint wash I used. So I kind of realized after that, oh, well, okay, that didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. But it kind of makes for an interesting weathering effect, so I just kind of went with it. And I kind of just went ahead and did the rest of it the same way and kind of tried to control the staining as best I could here, just to kind of generate a weathering effect. I did go back and add some extra weathering details throughout the kit with some real touch markers. So some of these little brown stains on the legs and the feet here, I kind of added in with the real touch marker after I did the panel lining. And I think it adds a little better look to it here. The decals are all water slide decals. I did that after I did the gloss coat on it. They were a mixture of like 3 different decal sets that I bought here. 2 Xeon sets, and I bought the set for the real grade Char Zaku. And most of the Char Zaku decals I used for all these little white decals and everything, the little warning signs, because they were the closest thing to the stickers that came with the kit here. The other ones were basically the numbers and insignia decals. I really wanted the red Xeon insignias on this, and I have 2 of those. There's one on the chest, one on the shield here, you can't really see. And there's a yellow one on the orange shoulder piece right there. But overall, I think it turned out pretty good here. I didn't try to overdo it with the decals. I just kind of want to add a little bit of detail throughout it. So 013 is the number I kind of went with on this here. So, and a lot of these sensors inside the guns here, that's just some chrome silver with some clear Tamiya red on top of it. It's not really anything that complicated I did there. The only other thing I probably had to do was I had to add a lens into the Zaku machine gun because I didn't actually come with one. So I just took a piece of a white sprue that was the right size and just kind of shoved it up in there and just painted it red. So it looks good that way. And for accessories, I mean, most of what you see here is on the kit already here. I do get the 2 fist hands, open fist hands. They're used for holding the heat hawk. The folded up heat hawk is the one on the back right now. It's really hard to see because it's covered up by the machine gun. But here is the opened one here. Just put some silver on the edge of the blade with a little bit of real touch decorating on it. Not a whole lot to it. I made them blue just to kind of match the color of the kit here. I do have the extra shoulder here. I don't know why I put this together and painted it anyway, but I do have it. So I was thinking maybe I'd try to switch it out sometimes just to see what it would look like. But at this point, I'm probably just not going to bother with it, so it's just an extra part for me. But yeah, that's pretty much the custom Zaku here. It's the DZ custom here. Almost like I think I would probably describe it as a sort of like an assault Zaku almost. It kind of serves a similar role to what the Kampher probably would be. But I think it came out pretty good here. It was a lengthy process. I think I started at the start of February on this, about that time here, and I got done March 10th, so a little bit over a month. Then had to kind of fight the weather several times here. I kind of had to wait for days when it was warm outside so that I could use my spray cans. I didn't airbrush this. I don't have an airbrush right now, so I had to use spray cans. So this is all spray cans. But yeah, it came out good. So yeah, so that's my custom Zaku. So I hope you like it, because I do. I mean, I put a lot of work into it. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you'll see this after the results of the contest or come out. So anyway, y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all sometime. Right? Bye-bye.